The word undeniable exists for a reason, and it applies to Caitlin Clark. She is just absolutely undeniable. And her return to the Indiana Fever showed it once again. It felt like a jolt of energy to the WNBA, obviously to the Indiana Fever, who looked like a completely different team, as Caitlin Clark put on a show that only she can in leading the team to a win over the New York Liberty, the first L for the Liberty on the season. Clark made those passes that are just gorgeous dimes. She hit the logo bombs, 3 of them in 38 seconds. The kind of things that just make you make incomprehensible noises, like, oh, like you can't control it when you're watching it because she's so exciting. She's the most exciting basketball player on the planet. She got help. Aaliyah Boston with big rebounds. Kelsey Mitchell was clutch late. Lexi Hull was everywhere. Sydney Colson even stepped up. But Caitlin Clark stepping back on the floor made all the difference in the world. And we saw it, again, with this team, the Indiana Fever. What did Clark say after the game? That's how we're supposed to play basketball. I know a lot of fans, or that's how the Fever are supposed to play basketball. I know a lot of fans have been missing that, but we got it back with Caitlin Clark, and it just changes the way you feel about everything. Changes the way you feel about the season. It changes the way you feel about the league. Obviously, it changes the way you feel about the Fever's prospects. Clearly, a lot of those moments in the game, including this pass that I just discussed that Caitlin was able to hit down the court, just gorgeous. I mean, come on. And then the shooting display that got everybody out of their seat when she was hitting them, boom, boom, boom. The level of respect that Caitlin Clark, one thing I really liked about it was the level of respect from Caitlin Clark, and you saw it, or for Caitlin Clark from the opponent. You saw that in exchange with Breanna Stewart in this game, where Stewie was just like, I have to give it up. I can't deny it either. It is what it is, right? Like laughing in the midst of everything that went on. Breanna Stewart reacting to Caitlin Clark out there on the floor and just smiling. That was the reaction that Stewie had when Clark hit one of those threes in her face. She had this big cheesing grin that you saw, and that's the kind of thing that's you can't replicate. The kind of thing that eventually everybody gets won over. Not to say that Stewart was a hater of Clark or anything, but you know what I mean. And here's what I'm talking about. In the midst of that, Caitlin Clark nails it. Ooh, look what I just did. Stewie with the laugh. You got to appreciate it. A true hooper on the other side of things. And Breanna Stewart, obviously a legend of the game. Sabrina Ionescu had some really nice things to say about Caitlin Clark's return after the game. I mean, the Liberty just, an upstanding organization. They're out there playing ball. Natasha Cloud in the first game famously sort of got the best of Caitlin Clark down the stretch at the end, but she was kind of turned into a hack in this game. She didn't have an answer for what Clark was doing out there. And then again, the teammates stepped up. Leah Boston was mad. She's grabbing those boards. Mine. Kelsey, she's got that mentality. You can't turn it off. Kept shooting. Sid Colson hit a really big three. She was steady out there. Exactly what you want from her. Just steady presence. Lexi Hull is invaluable to this team, and Sophie Cunningham brought some of that energy as well. Stephanie White back on the sideline, and I know some of y'all were complaining. They played the way that you want to see them play. Here's what she said afterwards.
The biggest thing is that this team has been resilient, and it hasn't been easy, and it's not going to be. Like, winning is hard. You got to go through the ups and downs. You got to go through the ebbs and flows. Life is hard, right? And for us, this group they stay together. They encourage one another. They draw strength from one another. I draw strength from them. I hope they draw strength from us. And every single day that we take one step forward together, we're building trust. And there are not many teams who position themselves to win and win consistently that don't have trust, that don't have tight chemistry, that don't have sacrifice, the we over the me, that don't go through hard times. And I think that this group has been resilient. I'm proud of them for that. We're going to continue to have to be resilient, but to be able to bring Soph and see back in the way that we did, and to get them back on the floor and seemingly not miss a beat offensively, I think says a lot about them. I think it says a lot about their teammates. And 25 assists on 37 made field goals. I mean, it's just, I'm just really proud of them, and I'm really thankful for them.
Was there one play by Caitlin, a three, a stretch pass, maybe a turnover, the technical, or a less glamorous play that just stands out in your mind for whatever reason as like, wow, you step back and said, wow, she's back, or good to have her back, kind of thing?
Well, I don't know how many threes she had in the first quarter, but yeah, that's a wow moment, certainly. She's got it, right? Like she's got it. And being able to harness those moments when it's really rolling, and being able to be patient in the moments where you're trying to get it rolling, I think is a growth process. So certainly, those first few threes, and then the turnover where she missed Damaris Dantas right beside her and tried to throw it to somebody else in the corner. Maybe I'll introduce her to Dee Dee in the locker room, but where again, then we have the conversation about not making the home run play, just making the easy one, and she managed the game impeccably from there on out. And so oftentimes it's just, pointing out the moments. She's going to continue to grow in those areas. But she's special, right? And she's special.
Good coaching there from Stephanie White. That's courtesy of Tony East YouTube channel from the Fever post-game press conference there. But the coaching there that she's imparting in the moment, while also appreciating what she's got in Caitlin Clark, I think the Fever are going to be just fine. Because the last time that Caitlin Clark was on the floor, the last time we saw her in uniform, they lost to the New York Liberty by 2. And that game could have gone either way. The next time Caitlin Clark is back on the floor, the Indiana Fever dust the Liberty down a part of that game. For I don't want to say dust. That's an improper description of what happened. They did for a moment put them in the rear view for a bit, and then the Liberty came back, and then the Fever pulled away late. But you get the point. They started to pick up the pace and leave some dust on their trail as they come away with the win, an emphatic victory, the biggest victory of the season, and the kind of victory that just changes the way you feel about the entire season. All that other stuff can be Men in Black, mind erased away. The Listerine has been swirled around in the mouth, and everything is clean and fresh again for the Fever, for the WNBA, thanks to the return of one Caitlin Clark, who's just a bit of a difference maker. Just a bit.